Over 2 million people have been displaced in the northeast region due to the long conflict caused by the Boko Haram insurgency. And Nigeria now ranks the 6th largest IDP population in the world. Since the conflict began in 2009, several government and non-government agencies like the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and its state counterpart, SEMA, United Nations International Committee of Red Cross, Victim Support Fund, just to mention a few, have received support from national and global partners to improve security, rebuild the states, and make tremendous impact in reducing the humanitarian crisis. The internally displaced people of Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe State deserve a better life, and that's why the government is giving the region a facelift. And joining us from our Abuja studios to discuss more on the rebuilding of the Northeast is the Executive Secretary Victim Support Fund, Professor Sunday Ochoche. Thank you so much for joining us on News Across Nigeria.
Thank you.
Now tell us, so far so good, what has the committee been able to achieve?
I'm sorry, I've lost you.
Okay, I just wanted you to tell us about the ongoing reconstruction that is taking place in the Northeast.
Thank you very much. In line with the mandate of the Victim Support Fund and given the improving security situation in a number of the states in the Northeast, we are increasing our intervention to include now the reconstruction of a number of the destroyed communities and facilities, especially the public facilities that need to be reactivated to encourage the restoration of local governance and provide support, social and otherwise, to the people who are returning. In this regard, we actually started in Borno State when we reconstructed all the public buildings in Dikwa, with all the schools, the local government secretariat, the general hospital in Dikwa reconstructed. We followed that up with the one in Bama. We also reconstructed the local government secretariat, about 9 schools in Bama and a maternity clinic. We are currently reconstructing Buniadi in Gujuba local government in Yobe State, where there too the general hospital, the secretariat, a number of schools are being reconstructed. On Saturday last week, we commenced the reconstruction of public infrastructure in Michika local government of Adamawa State. There the local government secretariat was completely razed down, completely destroyed, and nothing was repairable there. We have to bring down the entire building, and we are reconstructing the entire local government secretariat. Additionally, we will be reconstructing, we started as well the reconstruction and rehabilitation of 7 schools, the provision of water facilities to the local government secretariat, as well as the reconstruction of a maternity clinic, all in Michika local government. Those are some of the physical reconstructions that we are engaged with. But you will also know that other critical components are the human dimensions, the reconstruction of the human lives, rebuilding of the human lives that have been messed up economically, socially, and otherwise. Those components we have been doing much, much earlier than now, where we have just started the physical reconstructions of the public infrastructure.
That was what I was about to take you on. The victims, what is in the works to help them really get back on their feet without so much relying on the government so much?
Oh dear. I think again I missed.
I was talking about you mentioned about you've put a lot into infrastructure. I'm now talking about the victims. What plans are in the works?
We in Victim Support Fund from the beginning have focused more on the human dimension, of the crisis of the insurgency. And very early, we started with our project that provided medical care or enhanced the capacity of a number of the medical facilities in the Northeast to enable them provide the best available medical support for victims. That we have about 18 hospitals right now that are benefiting from this project. We also moved very quickly to address the issue of livelihood. And we started with building the economic capacity of a number of women. We started with 1,000 women in IDP camps in Maiduguri. Today we have expanded the program beyond 7,000 women, where we have organized them into Savings and Loans Association, and for each of these, Victim Support Fund has provided the sum of 20,000 naira for them to start their small businesses, their small enterprises. We are supporting the educational system. Education is critical to the rebuilding of the Northeast. Schools have been destroyed. Children have been out of school for a couple of years. The facilities are gone. Like I said earlier, we have reconstructed so many schools. But more than that, we are providing the educational materials and the soft support that the children require to return to decent education. Right now, we have over 55,000 children on the program of Victim Support Fund, where all the school materials, the books, the uniforms, and all that is required for them to remain in school is provided by the Victim Support Fund. There are also the cases of many of the children that were separated from their parents, some are orphaned, and Victim Support Fund has flagged off its foster care program, where we have 1,000 children under the protection of structures that have been put in place by Victim Support Fund. And for each of these children, the foster families that have been identified by the structures put in place are provided with the sum of 14,000 naira every month for the upkeep of these children, to provide for their education, provide for their health, their feeding. So we have the foster care program that is on. Our livelihood program also has introduced the agro support project, which we started in Taraba and Yobe states last year, where we, for 4,000 families, 2,000 in each of the states, we provided inputs, agricultural inputs. We also provided cash support to enable them restart the agricultural enterprises they were engaged in before the crisis came. Now we are expanding it. By November, we are introducing the dry season component of it, where we'll be adding another probably 4,000 or more families that will be benefiting from this. So we are addressing the human dimension, especially from the economic, the educational, and the health components, very seriously.
Thank you so much, Professor Sunday Ochoche, for speaking with us on News Across Nigeria. To other matters now, a total of 1,100 pump-action rifles loaded in a 20-foot container have been recovered by men of the Customs Service in Lagos. The operatives of the Tinkan Island Command of the service said they caught a syndicate that specialized in smuggling weapons into the country.
The bit of loading falsely indicates that the content to be washhand basin and water closet. For thorough examination, the following day, 7 September 2017, revealed the following. 1. George Magnum Black Pump Action Rifles, 600 pieces of them, and that is this one. Then this one. These are also 300 pieces. Then, of course, this one. This is single. These ones you can load as many. So this also the quantity imported under this disguise of 200 pieces. So if you add 600 plus 300 plus 200, that's 1,100 pieces of pump action rifles that were brought in under the guise of washhand basin and some other items.
Still to come on the program, the federal government begins work on the Lafia-Makurdi highway. We'll give you details in a moment. Stay with us.